listed at 210. Timeout is Mike Krzyzewski and his United States Olympic team with the big lead. Final seconds of this first half. The U.S. has now won 17 consecutive games in the Olympics since losing to Argentina during the semifinals at the 2004 games in Athens. Irving comes across. Down to 2, down to 1 as he goes to the crossover and scores. And the officials say it counts. He just did beat the buzzer.
I'm not quite sure there's another player in the NBA as gifted with the basketball than Kyrie Irving. Well, I mean, what a special move to finish that first half.
Somehow was able to get it off after he had gotten the step. So the United States outscores China 29-16 in the second quarter, and they have a 55-29 lead. Halftime at Staples coming up. Jared Greenberg will chat with Hall of Famer David Robinson.
And then Friday, Canada against the women's team at 7 p.m. Eastern, followed by Venezuela against the USA men's team. A 26-point advantage for the red, white, and blue today against China. We've got plenty more to do. Second half action right around the corner. Marv and Reggie right here on NBATV when we return.
USA Basketball on NBATV is brought to you by Samsung. And members get exclusive rates and experiences with Marriott Rewards, the official partner of USA Basketball.
I lost them.
First.
Win.
You are watching USA Basketball presented by Nike. It's the USA men's team versus China. And the United States with a 55-29 lead. Marv Alvin along with Reggie Miller. Slow start for the U.S. They started 1 for 9 from the field, and they end up hitting 19 of the last 32 shots, so close to 60% shooting. But I'm sure during the course of halftime they were talking about their defense, which really rose, particularly late first quarter.
Well, your offense is going to come and go. We know that in basketball. But if your defensive identity can stay the same, that's what you want. And we talked about the versatility of this team. Only really 2 bigs on this team, DeMarcus Cousins and DeAndre Jordan. So we talked about 9 guys ranging from 6'3" to 6'9". We're going to see a lot of switching, a lot of trapping, long arms, athletic, and that's what makes this Team USA basketball team so efficient. We talked about it not being the most talented team that Coach K has had, but certainly one of the most versatile teams.
Well, let's take a look at our game summary presented by Samsung. The U.S. for the first half, 20 of 41, 49% from the field, and China 9 for 26, just under 35% shooting. The high point man Kevin Durant with 14, 3 of 5, all 3 from downtown, and 5 of 5 at the line. And DeMarcus Cousins with 12 points, hitting all 5 of his shots. The one-time NBAer, Jianlian, high man for China with 10, but he's playing with 3 fouls. This is And rebounded by Jordan for the U.S.
And a little change here to start this second half. You got Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler in the starting lineup to start this third quarter.
And that pass off the mark, but broken up by Butler at center court. Here's Harrison Barnes for three. And it carries over the backboard and out of bounds. United States with the win on Friday night in Vegas. They beat Argentina by 37 points. They will meet up with China again in Oakland at Oracle Arena on Tuesday night. And we're told the tickets are still available. That pass intended for E. So the ball back to the U.S. and they're able to break down court. Jordan.
I would not be surprised come in Rio that Draymond Green will be the leading assist person on this Team USA. Again, he was in the top 10 as Jordan almost comes up with a steal.
Once again, Green got his hand on it, but this time he also made contact, so the foul is called.
Just a little touch
That is
pass.
the second on Green.
From the two bigs, from Draymond Green to DeAndre Jordan.
A fake there by Zhou Qi, rebounded by Jordan. So Zhou Qi starting the second half, did not start the game, and the foul is called on Qi. Basket won't count. Try to wrap up Butler.
And now the difference between the NBA and international rule, that would have been an and one in the NBA game. But the foul occurred right before Butler was getting ready to go up in that range of motion shooting.
So Butler will throw in. Return pass to Butler. Try to save it, could not. And China in possession. Zhao Jiwei, who played well in the first half, starting the second half. He came off the bench. Chi and Zhao Jiwei, rebounded by Green. Draymond going behind the back to protect. Then on a switch by E. Lowry gets inside. And Butler is fouled. He was held by Chi. That is his third foul. Jimmy Butler, 83% free throw shooter. Fifth year out of Marquette. Averaged 21 a game this past season with the Bulls.
2014-15 most improved player. And you mentioned the two-time All-Star. And there was a lot of talk about Jimmy Butler during this offseason. Possibly, we know Derrick Rose obviously traded to New York, but they were talking about Jimmy Butler as well. And now him alongside Dwayne Wade. Fred Hoiberg has two wing players. Both can get it done at both ends of the floor.
This is Pung moving it outside. It was almost a discontinue by Zhou Qi. And then he flips one up with the shot clock running out, and on the air ball, possession back to the U.S. So a backcourt of Lowry and Butler with Green, Barnes, and Jordan up front. Here's Lowry splitting through and lost control.
Rare turnover For Team USA, that's only their fifth turnover, their sixth turnover here in this ball game.
Shi chased outside by Jordan. A little mix up there, but it's recovered by Zhao. Shot clock at 1, and they're bailed out on that hack by Lowry. So Ding Yang-Yu Hong took the slap. He'll go to the line.
Now look at Team China here. Let's kind of revisit what they did in London. Obviously, they went 0-5 during the games. They lost every game by 16 plus points. They only averaged 63 points, which was last in the tournament, and only had 9 assists on average as a team, which was also last. And you fast forward, you know, obviously they're playing a superior team in Team USA, but we're kind of seeing the same thing. They can't score. They're not a great shooting team. You talked about E. E did lead that London games in rebounding, 10 a game, but that's been the only highlight really for Team China.
Their last men's basketball win in the Olympics in Beijing, August 16th, 2008 against Germany. And then China lost in the quarterfinals.
So was Dirk on that Germany team then? Would you say 2000 what?
2008.
Well, Dirk probably was on that team.
Fact checkers get into that.
Yeah.
What were you saying yesterday at practice of this after a number of Team China players were mobbing you? They just went crazy to see you, but you said to me, this is a team that would look very well walking through the airport.
You look at Team China, because that's their one strength. They have size. They're tall. They're long.
But they can't shoot.
They can't shoot, and their foot speed isn't where it should be. So walking through an airport, you'd be like, that's an amazing basketball team because of their size. But once you see them play,
we're finished by Ding Yang-Yu Hong.
Rare fast break point for China.
Barnes 4-3. It's tipped over to Butler. Kicks it back out. Lowry fires. Yes, Kyle Lowry. Two-time All-Star by way of the Toronto Raptors. Averaged 21 a game last season. How about the Raptors advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in the history of the franchise? Nice touch. Zhou Peng with the baseline jumper.
I was more impressed them winning those 2 games versus Cleveland in the conference finals after totally getting blown out in games 1 and 2.
Harrison Barnes got the step, and a travel is called. Good play by Butler as he closed in on Ji Wei, which forced the travel. And now E will take the seat, replaced by Zhou Yuchen. Played briefly in the first half. Just under 6 remaining in this third quarter, and a 62-36 lead for the United States. Ji Wei also sits down, and your favorite international point guard, Lo Ailuan, has just checked back in. And the foul is called. Apparently the ball was deflected out. So they have 17 on the shot clock.
Oh my goodness.
From the inbound is thrown by Lowry.
that's the inexperience of Zhou Qi not being able to put a body on DeAndre Jordan at the defensive end.
Guo off the head fake, driving on Lowry, rejected by Jordan. Kept alive. Here's Guo with 3 on the shot clock. And the ball back to the United States.
I think people are going to find a better appreciation for DeAndre Jordan's game during these Rio games, because people just see him in a pick and roll throw to the rim, and obviously he was a first-team All-NBA player, but they're going to get a better appreciation playing with these great players for the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Draymond Green just picked up his 4th and 3rd team foul on the U.S.
Maybe Doc will run some plays actually for him next year instead of telling him to go get it off the glass.
Ding on the hop, finding Hung. Lowry with the save. Green reached in, tried to get to it. 3-point attempt is missed and a foul is called. It's Hung battling for the rebound. And the foul is called on Joe Pung. That leads to a timeout with 4.5 to go. 3rd quarter. Back at Staples Center, Los Angeles, home of the Lakers and the Clippers. We have not received official word, but looks to be a sellout crowd for the United States and China. For the U.S., their second pre-Olympic exhibition game, coming off the win Friday night against Argentina. And we're up here 64-36. Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, DeMarcus Cousins, Kyle Irving all checking back in. And Irving will move it across. Guarded by Guo. Anthony, catch and shoot for 3.
Struggled in that first half from beyond the arc. That's his second
field goal for Carmelo. Now 2 of 7. He has 5 points, 6 rebounds. This is Pung. Try to get the step. Bad pass. And it's a 24-second violation. So 2 things occurring on that play, both bad. U.S. gets it down in a hurry. Thompson is open. 4-3.
By Durant, recognizing that Team China had their backs to the basketball and just drove baseline and found Klay for a wide open 3.
This represents the biggest lead of the night, the United States.
Klay 4 of 6 from downtown here.
Irving with the steal. And Kyrie lost it. Guo reaching in for the steal. Here is Guo, met by Cousins. And Yuchen missing on that open shot. Anthony, played by Jiwei, turns it over.
Back-to-back turnovers here for Team USA. Got 10 on the evening. A little sloppy play here.
And now China's head coach Gung Lu Ming takes a timeout. Back in a moment. Back in LA, let's take a look at tonight's play of the game presented by Kaiser Permanente.
And I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of these type of plays from DeAndre Jordan. Little touch pass here from Draymond Green in the finish by the high flyer DJ DeAndre Jordan. Again, I think people are going to really appreciate his game and talent when they see him with the rest of the elite athletes in the NBA the next 2 to 3 weeks.
4 successful alley-oops for DeAndre Jordan to this point. China in possession, just under 3 remaining in the third quarter. Jianlian is back on the floor. His Guo picked up on a switch by Durant. Shot clock is down to 3 and a blocking foul called on Carmelo Anthony. Fourth team foul.
We talked about this being a somewhat of a sloppy start of the second half for Team USA. China's only shooting 30%. They only have 36 points. So defensively, Team USA is still dialed in.
Is it defensively or just a poor shooting team on the part of China as Anthony fires?
Probably both. You know, we know that the struggles of Team China. The competition obviously is going to get better for Team USA, especially in their pool. You know, according to Coach K, you know, once they get to Rio, he talked about Serbia, France, and Australia, 3 teams that they have much respect for and heavy game planning for.
In a sloppy quarter, 7 turnovers committed by the U.S. Here's Cousins. That was rejected. And Thompson able to hit. Wang Jiling getting a piece of that shot attempted by Cousins. Jiling, played by Anthony. He defended by Cousins. Shot clock to 4. Good job by Cousins. He is the high scorer for China, but just 2 of 9 from the field. Thompson got the step. Thompson on the drive.
Just not a 3-point shooter. His game really has evolved, putting the ball on the floor. One of the best 2-way players in our NBA.
Another run here by the United States. 14 consecutive points. Open shot for E. Cousins with the rebound. Durant, Anthony, they whip it around. Irving on a nice move. Yes. Onset, whoa, flying as he was faked out.
Great body control by Kyrie. Never really in a hurry.
Glow on the hop, it's broken up. And E way off, got glass.
Well, to your point, I'll say it's bad shooting.
Irving wide open. And came up with air. Here's Glow to the trailer E, and he's hit by Durant.
And after that air ball by Kyrie, I liked seeing this. Carmelo Anthony, Kyrie was jogging back, and Melo telling him, get back in transition. See, this team is holding each other accountable very much the same way, you know, the previous Dream Teams looked at one another. It was those practices that were legendary for me in '96. I love the practices more than the games. Going against Mitch and the Glove, Gary Payton, Grant, Scottie Pippen, guys that, those wing players. And I like seeing that from Melo, who is the senior elder statesman on this team. Going to be playing in his 4th Olympic. So he has the right to kind of get on Kyrie a little bit. There's Mitch Richmond, the Rock.
It's intriguing, Reggie, how Carmelo Anthony's role on this team is so much different than it has been as a New York Knick. He's the first to say that he does not lead vocally, but it's a different story here with the Olympians, because in the league, be it with the Denver Nuggets or the Knicks, because he was a big scorer, there would be respect. But he's not somebody who would necessarily point things out on a regular basis.
Well, I think we'll see a little bit more nice passing by Boogie Cousins, by Kyrie Irving. They're going to count that basket as the defender went through.
On to the 4th quarter, biggest lead of the night. United States up by 40. They outscored China 23-9 in the 3rd quarter. USA shooting 10 for 17 from the field, and China just 2 of 15.
I also think we'll see this lineup a lot too. A bigger lineup with Paul George handling the basketball, both Kyrie and Lowry on the bench for Team USA. That's been one of the things that people said, not a true point guard like a Chris Paul on this team to facilitate and get everyone, but was playmakers in DeMar DeRozan and Paul George for their respective teams. So, again, the versatility of Coach K and Coach Boeheim, Coach Thibodeau. How about Monty Williams back on the bench? What a great story that is. Obviously, the tragedy that happened as an assistant coach at OKC.
Yeah, he was alongside Billy Donovan with the Thunder, then stepped aside after Monty's wife Ingrid was killed in that horrific car crash that was last February. 3 of Monty's 5 children were injured in the crash, but they survived, fortunately, and Monty left Oklahoma City to be with his family, but now he's back on the sidelines for the Olympics. Ximo putting moves on Cousins. Shot clock running down, and he fires one up. Ximo, only 20 years old, made it back from a shoulder injury. He's played well here tonight. And the foul is called with George handling up top. It is on Ximo.
This is the 3rd time. He's gotten Kevin Durant twice, and Ximo with a little pump fake gets Cuz up in the air. Nice little kiss off the glass.
Good ball movement. Here's DeRozan back on the floor. Able to go baseline. Talking a moment ago about Paul George handling the ball as he did the other night, but has done it even more so here tonight. That's last touch by the United States, but because Mike Krzyzewski is looking for more ball handlers, we'll see at least during the pre-Olympic exhibition play, we'll see more from Draymond Green handling, who is certainly accustomed to it because of the way he was able to do it with the Golden State Warriors. Kevin Durant is another guy who can handle the ball. China looking for a goaltender, will not get that call on the move by Wang Jiling. Anthony on the foul.
I said this in the first half. I would not be surprised if Green leads this team in assists, along with Paul George being up there, because you've got to allow Kyle Lowry and Kyrie Irving to be who they are. Both of those guys are really scoring point guards. And, that's not Kyrie's job in Cleveland. That's LeBron James is really the facilitator. So I would not be surprised if George and Green, if their assists are up in Rio, because that's their natural tendency to get guys going.
Now DeRozan, another player who can handle, moves it across off the pressure, finding it open. Durant, yes, Kevin Durant from downtown. And that is his fourth three. All four of his field goals have been from beyond that three-point stripe. Durant with 17 points. He's the high man once again for the U.S. Cousins handles that rebound off the miss by Ximo. Durant, Anthony has the mismatch on Guo. Spins in, finds DeRozan, and he hits.
Nice unselfish play. Anthony recognized he had the smaller Guo on him. Collapsed the defense with the spin move. DeRozan just found the wide open shot in the corner.
Nice pass, but she not able to finish. Anthony open for three. George trying to keep it alive. This is Guo with Anthony back. Comes back to Guo. Nice move. Guo, Iowa. The U.S. right back. Kevin Durant on the fast break. (89-43). United States on top as we come up on 7 minutes remaining in the game. Chi way off, and here they come. DeRozan this time is stopped as Guo called for the foul. That's his third.
Look at this quick spin move here by Melo. Look at all the red jerseys around him. Nice find to DeRozan. Wide open three. Team USA 11 of 27 from downtown, 41%.
Which is an improvement from the other night against Argentina. And now Coach K with substitutions. Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, Harrison Barnes. Come on. And off the steal. George try to take it back. They double up and a foul is called. George wrapping up Joe Pung. And picks up the foul. So Reggie with this unit, we'll see Green and George and DeRozan doing a lot of ball handling. That's what the U.S. coaching staff would like to see take place.
Look at the length on the perimeter. That was pretty good defense there. Initially started with Paul George. Just being a ball hawk here and causing this China team into bad decisions.
24-second violation. And here's DeRozan at the other end. He scores. Yes, and it counts. And he will head to the line. Foul on Guo. Paul George, an 86% free throw shooter. Last season with the Indiana Pacers, making it back strong from that broken right leg that he suffered back in 2014 while competing for a roster spot on the U.S. national team for the FIBA World Cup. And his return the other night was very emotional. He played well for Argentina, but he was just so happy to be back on the court with memories of that injury that was suffered that kept him out for more than a season. But he has bounced back dramatically.
And I like the comments he made to our own Steve Ashburner, talked about it's time for me to open up a new chapter. DeRozan there with a nice smooth scoop. You know, he doesn't. Paul George doesn't want people to focus in on the leg injury. It happened. It's been more than 2 years. He felt that he's been back. He's been an all-star, third team, all-NBA. You know, he's felt that he has turned the page, but people kind of want to keep bringing it up because of what happened 2 years ago in Vegas in that first exhibition game, and rightfully so. But
it's natural.
It's natural, but he wants to move on from that point.
He was fouled as we head to break. Timeout taken. 5:45 to go in the fourth. All right, Rich, let's take a look at tonight's stat of the game presented by Nike.
Well, look at the, we talked about in the London games, Team China was last in assists at 9. Tonight only 6 assists and 4 steals, but 27 assists and 9 steals. Ball movement and that defensive identity that Coach K has been clamoring for. Obviously, it's only 2 exhibition games in, but they want to be successful and bring home the gold. You're going to have that ball movement and defensive identity.
And as he makes his move, he draws contact. It's on Butler. To the line. 6 for 6 at the line.
And Marv, we talked with Coach K. You talk about who's in Team USA pool, but what about the other pool too? Spain, well coached, Pau Gasol, Ricky Rubio, guys that have tested this Team USA team, as well as Lithuania. They have size. 3 or 4 guys that, body-wise, Valanciunas, Sabonis.
And on the international level, players rise.
Sure.
As we've seen.
Yes.
Not necessarily here tonight. And we're talking about one of the weaker teams in China. The United States will open up against China in Rio. Off. And that is deflected out of bounds. Apparently, one of the U.S. players hanging on the rim. So the ball back to China.
But clearly it's gold medal or bust for Team USA. I mean, they've got the best talent 1 through 12. But it's going to be interesting, when they do face a France, Lithuania, Spain, if they, advance past that. Those players aren't scared of these guys. They see them on an everyday basis in the NBA. The fear factor really stopped, I would say, after 2000.
Well, U.S. did not win a gold in 2004. Here is DeRozan with the steal. Beautiful move by DeMar DeRozan. United States opens the Olympics in Rio Saturday night, August 6th against China, followed by games against Venezuela and Australia. Australia will be tough. And Serbia and France, which will lead to the quarterfinals, is able to finish.
And I'll look back at Draymond Green. Aren't you one of the best defensive players in the game? Gotta be careful saying that. You don't want Draymond to wake up here.
He now with 16 points, although he has shot just 3 for 13 from the field. Nice little split through by DeRozan. 15 foul has been called on China.
Look at the glare back.
So they're over the foul limit, and George to the line. Another difference here tonight at the 3-point line, 11 of 28 for the United States, as opposed to shooting just 34% from 3 Friday night against Argentina. So they're right about at the 40% mark, shooting threes and a host of open threes.
It's been interesting. You know, there's a rule change in international basketball that I hope Adam Silver and the committee kind of looks at, that we've been seeing. On offensive rebounds, the shot clock resets to 14 as opposed to 24. You know, speeds up the game. You know, I hope that's something that our committee kind of takes a look at. Our game is always on the cutting edge of trying things new. I just think that would kind of speed up our game a little bit, as opposed to it resetting to 24. Take it to 14.
Yeah, I like that also. Not that it's going to happen that frequently, but it certainly...
In close games down the stretch, instead of teams trying to, you know, if they get an offensive rebound, you know, play the clock out, you know, they potentially have to take a shot.
Jordan on the foul of Wang Jiling. And that puts the United States over the limit. Jiling, a second-round pick of the Memphis Grizzlies, and deciding whether to stay in China, try to make it to the NBA. And I think you can say this about many of the players on the Team China roster. Foot speed is the question.
Yes.
With Jay Ling,
yes.
But does have skills around the basket. He is 7 foot, 265 pounds. Missing on both, and then it's deflected out last touch by Butler.
Yeah, if I'm looking at this Team China as a whole, you know, I talked about their strengths, we talked about their size and length, but their weaknesses, foot speed and shooting. It's a terrible shooting team, and the more quicker teams, as we saw tonight with Team USA, they're kind of flat-footed a lot. Nice defensive strip there by Jimmy Butler on E.
And Butler called for the travel. So he ends up with the traveling violation on a move that he is usually able to make against the opposition.
You'll see that call a lot in international play, because as NBA players, we take it for granted because they really don't call traveling that much in the NBA game. But these international officials, it's 2 steps. You take that half step, they're calling it.
Joe Pung handling well, not able to hit, and Jordan could not hold on. Joe Pung, the team captain, played in the 2008 Olympics. 6-time champion of the Chinese Basketball League. We're down to 3:20 to go in the game, and a 99-47 lead for the U.S. Chiellini. Shot clock running down to 3. Chiellini just firing one up, and it's another 24-second violation called against Team China. China has traditionally been the best basketball team in Asia, winning the FIBA Asia Championship 14 out of 16 times. However, they have struggled against all the top-flight non-Asian teams. Back in 2004, though, in Athens, coached by Del Harris, China did advance to the Final 8 after a 1-point win over the defending world champion Serbia. This followed by some success due to the presence of Yao Ming. Barnes down the step. Harrison Barnes with a nice move. That's his second field goal. He has 4 points.
Nice crossover. I think this is going to be a new lease for Harrison Barnes in Dallas as well. I mean, Rick Carlisle has his small forward of the future. You know, obviously a champion with the Warriors.
And Nice touch by Ximo. Ximo has 14 points. He's 6 for 10, which looks out of character. The shadow box score off the turnover. Thompson is running to. Foul is called on Jochi. And for Chi, it's number 5. So he will depart. Player foul limit is 5 rather than 6 in FIBA play. And you know, technicals are considered personal fouls.
Yes.
You can have combination, which adds up to 5.
What if they added that to the NBA? Guys would be in a lot of trouble.
Yes.
Boogie Cousins, Draymond Green. Think about that.
Perhaps they'd be more careful.
Yes.
Well, the limit is 5 because it's a shorter game, by 8 minutes.
Right.
So Klay Thompson at the line. And you look at the minutes distributed by the coaching staff tonight, similar to what took place against Argentina on Friday night. Everybody getting a shot. Carmelo Anthony with 18 minutes and 18 apiece for Cousins and Durant, 17 for DeRozan, but that rotation will shrink toward the end of the exhibition schedule.
Again, rounding themselves into shape. We have 3 more exhibition games after this one. Up in the Bay Area, Chicago and Houston before they head to Brazil.
Three-pointer for Joe Pung. Just under 2 minutes remaining of the game. Thompson for 3. With the block. That's his 3rd rejection of the game. USA Basketball has partnered with the Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors, TAPS, to host more than 350 TAPS youth participants and their families at events this summer. Now, the partnership between USA Basketball and TAPS honors and supports our nation's military and families with the Hoops for Troops program. Minute and a half remaining in this 4th quarter. Deflected out by Kyle Lowry. Kevin Durant, the high point man for the United States with 19, 5 from 7 shooting, 4 have been from downtown. Klay Thompson with 17, so turning it from the 1 for 8 the other night against Argentina. Ximo, and it's stolen by Lowry. Lowry pulls it back. Jordan. Nice pass. It counts in the foul. Beautiful pass by DeAndre Jordan to Harrison Barnes, who will head to the line.
And this is the type of unselfishness that you're going to see from this team, USA. Lowry had a wide open layup here on the steal. Gave it to DeAndre Jordan, who had a dunk, but recognized that Barnes was trailing in. And we talked about this team in such short notice, trying to find that chemistry, that camaraderie. It's starting to kind of come about here on its own in these exhibition games.
Nice stat line for DeAndre Jordan. That was his 2nd assist, along with 5 rebounds, 4 block shots, and a foul is called. It is on. It's on Barnes. With a minute to play, so Lee Gunn at the line. Lee Gunn has played with 4 different teams in the Chinese Basketball Association. Teamed up with Stephon Marbury on the Beijing Ducks. They won multiple championships in China. Tune into Game Time right here on NBA TV for complete post-game coverage of USA basketball and China tonight at 10 p.m. with Rick Kappa and Sam Mitchell on NBA TV. Jordan counts for the foul.
Jordan was waiting for the contact by E to come over. It's twice we've seen Jordan finish with that left hand around the hoop.
Difficulties at the line, comes up with an air ball.
Now I wonder if he's going to have to worry about Hacker Jordan, the international style. No, teams won't Hacker Jordan.
42% career free throw shooter, and for some reason China has taken a timeout. They love these timeouts in the final seconds of quarters. Well, we have 49 seconds to go. Back in a moment.
USA Basketball on NBA TV is brought to you by Jeep, official vehicles of summer, and by Cisco, proud technology partner of USA Basketball.
Team China head coach Gunglu Ming taking what would be called a clinical timeout with 49 seconds remaining.
That's kind of like a Greg Popovich timeout right there.
Broken up by Jordan. Thompson with the alley-oop intended for Jordan. And deflected out of bounds. Last touched by China. Lowry setting up the play. 19 on the shot clock. Thompson on a step back three. Jordan with the rebound and lost it, recovered by Lowry. There's Draymond Green trying to get it to Jordan. And the E able to hand off to Ximo. Yes. He's the high point man with 18 to lead China. We're final seconds. 106-57 victory for the United States. They led by as many as 54 coming off a 37-point win against Argentina. So they go 2-0 in pre